Holiday Branch and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are being safe out there because boy, it is one hell of a year and it's barely June. We got 6 more months to go, honey. As you guys can see, I got my braces tightened this week and I got bands. Hey, I haven't had bands in since the summer, so I'm pretty excited. But I'm in a lot of pain, so if I sound funny or if you don't understand what I'm saying, just be nice. My mouth is in pain and I'm trying my best to convey my thoughts and feelings through this pain. If you guys are new here, hey, what's up? My name is Holiday Branch and I like to post videos here every single week about what? About shit that doesn't really matter. It only matters to me. I like to post story times, tutorials, vlogs, you know, all that typical shit. So if you like that type of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so y'all can get your free entertainment every single week. And here is another video. So I've always wanted to make this video for a really long time, but the thing is that every time when I would sit down and film this video, I was so scared of facing backlash. I was so scared of people fighting in the comments or even arguing with me saying oh my god, Holiday, I can't believe you said this, I can't believe you said that. You already know how comments are you know, on the YouTube, you know, these YouTube streams be rough at times. And also I was just having a really hard time trying to convey my thoughts and feelings because even though this happened to me when I was 18 years old, and you know, it's almost gonna be 10 years, I'm gonna be 27 this year, I still have trouble processing what the fuck happened to me when I was at University of Colorado. I'm still having trouble in trying to process of what I experienced at Boulder. And the reason why is that every time when I try to convey my thoughts and feelings, I'm just I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that was actually real. So for those who don't know, I grew up in Compton, California. I grew up in a trailer park. My parents are both immigrants from Mexico. I'm first generation. It's a really long story. Boy, that story is crazy too. Oh my god, y'all. If y'all want to know the story about y'all, oh my god, so much drama, so much tea. But you know what? This video is not about that. Okay, it's not about that. But yeah. So first generation. My parents are immigrants. My parents, because you know at that time they were undocumented. We grew up in poverty. You know, basically that's what it is. We grew up in poverty. My parents were, you know, overworked, underpaid, and we just didn't have the best life. We just didn't have the best life. Now, if you are a son or daughter of an immigrant, then bitch, you already know that the pressure is on the moment that you are born. And that's what basically happened to me because I was the firstborn. I was the oldest of 5 kids. So ever since I've been able to understand my parents, I always heard, Holiday, you need to go to school, you need to be a role model. The only way that you can get out of this situation is by going to school and getting a good job. Mija, tú tienes que estudiar porque usted no quiere trabajar como nosotros. Míranos, pobres, y blah, 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 blah. Bitch, you already know. And if you're Hispanic, bitch, you already know how it is with parents, okay? And it's good, you know, I'm not saying that was bad, you know, because that has made me the person who I am today. I have really good work ethic and, you know, I have a lot of skills and that I thank my parents a lot for, you know, because they were struggling, they were surviving, and I don't want to survive. I want to thrive, ho. That's why I'm here sharing my story. And even though I grew up in a poor place, even though I grew up in a low-income community, I never felt like I was left out. Why? Because I grew up in a Latino dominated community. Majority of my neighbors, majority of my classmates, majority of my teachers were Latino or they were of African descent. And so my entire life I grew up with people of color, and that's not a bad thing. That was a great thing for me because all my doctors were Hispanic or African American, or you know, the police officers were Hispanic, the fucking nurses were Hispanic, all of my teachers were Hispanic or African American. Even El Chinito, I even had Asians like, you know, like in my community, like even though they were like running the stores, you know, like there I was surrounded by people of color. And so I never felt like there was something to be like I left out. I never felt like I never faced racism. Like, let me just put it that way. I never faced racism. I never faced microaggression. Even though that was something that like I read in the textbooks, I never knew what it was. I never knew what it was, and I never understood it because I was surrounded by it. Even though you know, LA is very, very divided. Like, majority of like low income communities is a lot of Hispanics and you know, blacks, and then the suburbs is mostly the whites. Even though when I would go to the suburbs in LA, I still never faced like discrimination, and I'm pretty sure it was because like, you know, white people here in LA, in Orange County, they're so used to people of color. Like, everywhere you go, you're always gonna see like a fucking taco stand, or you're gonna see like, you know, like a Thai food place. Like, there's so much diversity here, even though it's divided by like neighborhoods and income and, you know, all that stuff. I guess you can say systematic racism. Everyone is kind of aware of each other, and everyone kind of respects each other. Like, there's no like, it's never like oh, I didn't know you existed. Like, everybody knows each other. If I were to go to like a suburb, like I wouldn't experience like microaggression or like direct racism, even though I look out of place. Even though I look, you know, I'm like the brightest, darkest, you know, crayon in the freaking box, I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel out of place. I don't feel disrespected. And because of that, that definitely did not prepare me of what I was going to experience at Boulder. Why did I go to Boulder, Colorado for college? Okay, so here is the story. If you guys have not watched my previous videos about how I became confident or story times with my little sister, then you guys don't know that I was bullied as a child, and I was a fucking loner all the way through high school because I didn't have any friends. I didn't belong to any social group throughout high school. I basically wanted to reinvent myself after high school, and the reason why is because that bitch is college. Like, I'm an adult. I get to do whatever I want. I literally was being given the opportunity to like live away from home. Like, I was given the opportunity to like go away from home, you know, for college. Like, bitch, why would I give up this opportunity? Like, this is the one-time opportunity that I actually can leave home with a fucking purpose. And so I was taking college as an opportunity to reinvent myself and to declare my independency. And that bitch, I did it. I literally was like, where is the place that I'm not gonna see anybody, that nobody's going to know me, and where I know for sure I'm gonna like experience something different? Because that's what I wanted. I wanted something different. And you guys, I'm not gonna lie, like, I just wanted to like leave my community, because my entire life I just knew Linwood, Compton, Hollywood. Like, that's all I knew. And so I wanted to experience something different. And so I was just like, okay, so like, what is one place that I know that I've never fucking visited before, where I know I don't know anybody, and that nobody knows that I'm a fucking loser in real life? Like, where is the one place that I can actually go? And so when I was taking my chemistry class with Mr. Nguyen at Firebaugh High School, I ended up finding out that he went to Boulder, Colorado for college. And when I looked at the place, I was like, you know what? That's the place where I want to go. It's beautiful. It's fucking in the middle of the fucking mountains. It's like the cleanest air of the fucking country. Like, bitch, we live in LA. The fucking pollution is crazy over here in the air. Like, the pollution here in the air is crazy. So I was all like, you know what? Like, if I could go to college anywhere in the country, I want to go to Boulder. That's where I want to go. I didn't fucking realize that Boulder was not LA. Like, see, this is what my mentality was happening. I thought that everybody was so used to Hispanics. I thought that everybody was used to like ethnicity. I thought that everybody was exposed to like people from different backgrounds and economic statuses, because here in LA, like, it's so visible, you know, it's very visible, like, you know it, and like you even have like an appreciation for it. I would tell people in LA like, oh yeah, I'm from Compton. They're like, ooh, Compton, ooh, oh, you're from the jungle, you get me? Like, there was like some type of appreciation. But like, when you say I'm from Compton in fucking Boulder, Colorado, oh my god. I just need to like preface this, and this is how fucking stupid I was. And like, if there's any advice that I can give to like all the people who are like trying to go away from college, I need to tell you this right now. Like, you need to go visit the school, and you need to go live there. If you like be there for like a whole fucking week, maybe 2 weeks, before you decide to go to that college, because that's what I didn't fucking do. I never visited Boulder, Colorado. I just saw what it was on the pictures. I only knew what was in the YouTube videos and on the reviews, and oh my god. Oh my god, bitch, I never visited the school until I went for orientation. And yeah, when I went to orientation, it was in July. It was so fucking hot. It was raining, but I was like so fucking like excited, because I was just like, oh my god, this is so beautiful, this is amazing. But then when I started seeing the entire crowd of like Caucasian students, I was like, oh shit, I'm the diversity administration pig. Bitch, there was like no Hispanics. There was no Hispanics. There was no African American students. Like, I literally was like, what the fuck? Like, you guys, oh my god. And it's not to say that like, oh my god, like, I'm not trying to like sound like I was being prejudiced or anything like that. It's just like, for some reason, I could feel like there was like some kind of, maybe it's just me being self-conscious. I'm pretty sure it is. But like, I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel really uneasy, because I was just like, I'm going to this really, really beautiful school, and I just see nothing but whites. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, what it was. I literally was like thinking that like, see, Boulder was going to be like UCLA. Like, UCLA is one of the best schools in the fucking country. Like, it's one of the best schools in the country, and it's known for its diversity. And for some reason, I fucking missed the part that Boulder had no fucking diversity. And after I started like realizing that there was like little to no diversity here in Boulder, Colorado, I ended up finding out that they actually had been criticized years before because they lack diversity. And so it kind of made me feel like, was I given a spot here to Boulder, Colorado? Because like, look, you guys, like, I was a good student, like, I really was, but like, as you can tell, like, I'm not the smartest person. Like, my grammar is fucking terrible. Like, I have terrible grammar, and like, I know I'm talented in many, many ways, but like, I was just like, I don't think I belong here. So I ended up finding out that like Boulder, Colorado has had pressure before because they didn't have diversity. And so it kind of got me thinking, like, did they fucking give me a spot here because I'm Latina? Like, let's not even, like, look, let's just forget about the race part, okay? Like, because shit got way deeper than this. I didn't want to make this video because I know I'm gonna sound like, oh my god, like, Holiday, you're so fucking naive. So I grew up my entire life, okay, in Compton. And even though everybody knew Compton, I never knew that there was like there was like a negative connotation to it. I never knew about like the gangs or like, you know, the history behind it. Like, I never knew it. Like, I just, I'm just in Compton. Like, I never knew anything about that. So when I started, you know, making conversations with all of the students that were like attending school with me, every time when I would say, oh, I'm from Compton, they would be like, what the fuck? Like, what do you, like, what? And like, you guys, like, that's where like I started catching on, and we're like, oh, oh, every time when I would say like, oh, I'm from Compton, they'll be like, what the fuck? And they'll like start asking like, to me it sounded very ignorant questions, but like for them, they don't even know. You know, I don't like to think like that. I'm pretty sure they were just asking questions just because like it just came out of like ignorance, but like it wasn't malicious. But like a lot of them were like, oh, so like, where's your braids? Oh, you don't look like you're from Compton. Or like, yeah, I would think that you would look a little more different. Or like, they would always like, I remember one guy was like, so like, do you know Serena Williams? Like, it was like stupid shit like that. And that's when I started realizing like, oh, I can't relate to you guys. And like, you guys, like, I really couldn't relate to any of them. Like, I really couldn't, because like these are like, I don't want to use this word, but like they're like just white privileged kids. And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's not like they can control that. It's not like they can control their skin color or, you know, the situation that they were born to, just like how I couldn't control my skin color or my, you know, conditions that I was born with. But like we lived in two different worlds. Like, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a trailer park. My parents were immigrants. They were underpaid. I was denied a lot of things. And they had, you know, great parents who were consultants, vice presidents, engineers, doctors, nurses. Majority of them went to private schools. Majority of them like went to vacations. They'd been to Europe. Like, they had like all of this like, you know, amazing wardrobe while like I have all my clothes, you know, from Goodwill. Like, we come from two different worlds. Also, I just want to make this clear that that doesn't define all the racial and microaggression events that I was like experiencing. That doesn't define my City of Boulder experience, because just like how I had really weird and bad experiences, I also had great experiences. I actually got to be part of a group of girls that were super fucking amazing, that were super diverse, from, you know, Laosia. I had a friend from Ethiopia. One of my friends was born and raised in Germany. Like, I had a diverse group of friends. Like, I really did. And because of them, I was able to not just survive, but to thrive from CU Boulder. But it was so hard to experience that, like, firsthand, because I said it before, like, I grew up in LA and I grew up in a diverse community, even though, like, you know, like, it was just so weird. Like, I never experienced racism. I never experienced microaggression. That was like shit that like I would read at textbooks and like would watch in movies and like documentaries, and I never thought that I would experience that until I got to Boulder. And when I went to Boulder, that's when I realized, like, fuck. And it's not a, like, look, I don't like to think that they were doing or saying things because they were being malicious. I'm pretty sure they were saying those things because they just didn't know any better. And I'm really happy that they got to meet me, and hopefully I got to like change their perspective, or I got to impress them. But it just to show that I feel like a lot of people, when they act and say and do a lot of things that could hurt other people, it's because they never been exposed to that. Just like how I've never been exposed to racism, I would never expect that from anyone else. But now that I have, you know, like, it's like, you know, it's just like, okay, like, that possibility is out there. So like, I'm pretty sure all of those students, they never got to, you know, encounter or got to experience diversity in their community or in their home or in their, you know, in their school. I feel like because of that, they had all of this ignorance, you know, coming out. But yeah, like, that was just kind of my experience. And even though it did hurt me at that moment, it hurt me a lot, but it just got me to like appreciate like my skin tone. It got me appreciate my ethnicity, because I'm not gonna lie, like, when I was in high school, that's all I knew. Like, all I knew was just being Hispanic. And because I grew up in poverty, I felt like that defined me and my ethnicity. And I feel like that was the reason why I left to Boulder, because I wanted to, you know, reinvent myself, and I wanted to literally change my, you know, I just wanted to change my status. I wanted something different for myself. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. I know it sounds really winded, and I know that it doesn't really make any sense. Like, I know that this video is gonna come out really, really choppy, but I just wanted to like just get it out of my chest. Now with this whole like thing that's happening in the world, like, I need to take advantage of it, because I always put this video away because I'm like, oh my god, like, this is not a good time, it's not appropriate, I don't want my words to be misconstrued or anything like that. But I feel like this is a good time, and I'm taking right now the time to like reflect my past experiences. And even though at that moment it did hurt a lot and it made me confused and it somehow broke my self-esteem, I'm really happy that it happened to me, because I now know the world. So if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to tell me down in the comments below if you have ever experienced racism or microaggression. Like, tell me your story, bitch. And make sure to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is IamHolidayBranch, and I'll see you soon. Bye.